Yo, what's up, everybody? It is Orange Bloods Live. I'm Jeff Ketchum. That is Anwar Richardson. He's in Hotlanta. Steve Sarkisian just did his State of the Union at SEC Media Days. Oh, by the way, the guys over at Texas Card House, Inspects, and I got the wrong banner up. I will fix that. I thought that was our special sponsors. I'll get that fixed. Don't worry about it. But
We'll fix it.
Taste on Main and like Hay City Store, everybody's here representing. Steve Sarkisian just did his thing on War. I thought that was as impressive. There's a lot. We'll get into the weeds.
Sure.
I thought that was the best Steve Sarkisian press conference performance I've ever seen. I thought, and it doesn't matter, right? They don't give trophies out for that.
Yeah.
But, I've called Steve out on occasions when it's like, oh, he looked like he was a little pissy, or what was up with Steve? I thought that was as good of a Sarkisian performance as you're ever going to see. And if his team performs on the field as well as he did at the press conference today, they're going to win a lot of games by a lot of points.
He was very comfortable, very at ease, very direct, and he was very convincing. Like, and the one thing about Steve unless it's injuries, right, Catch? Do you and I agree? Unless it's an injury, he's pretty darn blunt about where he is and what he believes and everything like that. And the injury thing we understand, right? He doesn't want to give a competitive advantage. So I'm not even knocking him for that, right? But when he started kind of outlining, where his team is, where they want to be, when he started gushing over with the defense and how good they felt that was, and special teams and everything else, like, yeah, it was an A+ performance. Like, on the day where you're going to have Kirby Smart speak in the morning, and the day where Arch is going to get some shine, and the day where, obviously Michael Taft is getting the love for doing the thing that he's doing today. I thought Sark went out and he answered every question, Catch. I mean, he answered questions about AJ Milwee. There was another abstract question that he was asked. He was very kind and courteous to a guy who clearly must be his first year covering college football, who asked him about a recruit who literally just committed about an hour ago. Like, he literally did everything the right way. It was an A+ performance for him if you had to grade just off of press conference stuff. If you can get into the weeds of all the things that he said, but overall, he just looked fantastic.
The highlight for you today, the thing that will stand out for the rest of time is what?
Well, unfortunately, it's going to be the A&M song for his intro. Like, that will be something I'll never forget, because how the hell does that happen? Like, someone looked at Texas and said someone had a button for Texas A&M, and they just pressed the wrong button. So that will stand out. If you're talking about from a positive standpoint, I mean, I don't know. Is it bad that it's going to be my question, that in the answer to my question? Is that a bad one if that's what I do, to him diving into the specifics of how they want?
That's the thing I'll take on War. It's just one of those where it's like, I'm a nerd, so that stuff matters to me. The question is, will that be the thing that matters to everybody? I kind of think so. I've got a different answer because that one is so obvious, but I kind of do feel like we have to start there, because I thought the level of transparency about what they're doing was really interesting. And he ended it by, I think, inadvertently saying that they can't just pay players more than anybody else like they used to, which I thought was really funny. Just because of the way he ended the statement. But wow, it was really interesting. He basically read a war room report from you from the last 2 weeks.
It ends up being a thing, Catch, where sometimes when you do this thing, you ask someone a question, and it's almost like in real time, they realize that that's something that they've been wanting to discuss for a long period of time. and then finally that thing is asked. And so it goes from, oh yeah, I'm answering this question, to like, oh snap, I've been really wanting to talk about this. And let me actually, now that you said it, let me get some more things off my chest. It's like when you have that conversation with somebody, and then you're like, and then it just goes into, let me get this off my chest. And
Well,
there
because he thought you were trying to. The first thing he thought was, I can't. This can't be my soundbite. Me bitching about other teams.
It was, but so it started off with,
because once he got past, am I trying to get got? It was really revealing.
Once he got past, well, I felt like once he got past, I don't really want to address lane stuff specifically or what other programs do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But, like, I think he heard you say that, and then he got into it, and he was like, oh. There's a lot of meat on this bone, actually, for me to chew on.
And it was almost like there was a message at that point, because in recruiting, when you ask recruiting questions, right, a lot of times the answers are meant for the masses. And it's not necessarily, it's just exactly for you as the reporter, but it's the message that I want to make sure I convey. It's the thing I reported about last week, but it was also, he touched on it this one, which is he talked about the things that were important, right? Developing guys, but also the retention portion, how they have a team that they like this year, next year. They want to make sure retention is there. And then, basically saying, we can't pay everybody. Like, it'd be great, but we can't pay everybody. AKA, look, bruh, if you're getting that kind of NIL offer from somewhere, go for it. Be at it. And it was also interesting catch where he said, you know what? We don't really talk about NIL to the end, and maybe that turns us off from some people. I thought that was interesting too, because I don't know, Catch. If you wine and dine me for 2 days, and then at the final day we talk contract numbers, and the contract numbers sound good, usually I think I'd be pretty good. But he said that was actually maybe a turnoff for some people, which means when some people are coming through the door, they're like, yo, this is what we got. Let's get this weekend popping, right? And I guess, like, but to out of fairness, Catch, when you walk through the door and you're walking into, Moncrief, you see a row of Lamborghinis, you're probably thinking this probably start the time. It's money time, right? Like, this is what we're going to discuss.
It does feel like they've scaled that back.
Yeah,
a little bit. And I think that there was a lot interesting about that. I thought that
the comments about my shirt are hilarious, by the way. You guys are hilarious.
I know. It's like you guys never watched Drunk Unk back in the night, like in the nighttime. Anwar dressed for his show, guys. Like, he calls that Tuesday.
It is Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting that he didn't go. Well, look, I've reported for the last couple of years now, they don't like to go in with their big NIL offers till late. They don't want to show their cards. There is like some real strategy behind it. Will they tweak it? Yeah, they did for Decorian Moore. But they didn't really do it for Michael Fasusi last year. They waited late.
Yeah.
And came to Michael Fasusi late. But
by the way, Arch is coming to the podium right now.
By the way, Sonny is like up in there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, Sonny, I don't know if you saw what I tweeted out, but I wish, do you think it would screw everything up? If I took this camera, it would screw everything up? Don't do it?
Don't do it.
All right, I thought about it. It's chaos. Go ahead.
I just, there was so much to unpack from that answer. I will, let me just stop and say this, because I think that program philosophy and what they're doing in recruiting and the salary cap, and I really thought it was interesting that he didn't say Brandon Harris's name again. Like,
I said the name. I actually said his name, Catch, in the question.
Yeah, and I joked in the teams. He gave the academic guy a shout out today, like by name. And like, I don't think he's done that. I don't think he's ever done that with his strength and conditioning coach. And I don't think he's done a press conference this year where he said Brandon Harris's name. So that academic guy must be tearing it up. I thought he lavished praise on his defense at the very beginning before the Q&A portion of the event. He just rattled off like 20 dudes' names.
Yeah.
And he was like, we're going to be good on defense. And then he just started name checking guys. I thought he was naming every goddamn guy on the 2 deep on War. He was naming guys that I didn't think he was going to name. He just kept naming them. And
He kept going.
I've never heard him talk about his offense the way he talked about his defense today. And I don't mean that as a slight towards anything or anybody else. I mean it as like a tip of the cap to good job by that staff and all of the teamwork that went into building the collection of talent and the coaching up of that talent. Because I think it's easily Sark's favorite thing about this team. Like, he thinks his defense, he didn't even mention, we were basically number 1 in the country last year.
Mm-hmm.
He just said we should be better. And it was like, okay, damn, they're going to be good on defense. He's letting us know with like no pause about it.
Yeah. Now, Catch. So one of the things I'm going to post, by the way, this is what happens in the live show. Like, just stuff happens in real time. Like, stuff happens when you're doing a show and someone hands you an ESPN box that's full of popcorn inside, right? It's just live. It's live. This is just what happens. It is what it is. Billy Lucci just walked by a little bit ago and said hello. So this is a lot going on. So
ESPN owns it. They needed that. They needed the popcorn to get in the show. ESPN, not ESPN 1000 out of Birmingham. Like, actual ESPN is like making a popcorn box and like maybe that in the middle of your broadcast.
They want to tell you about their plans, their unlimited plan and their select plan for the upcoming.
Hey, it worked. Good job, guys. ESPN's got a plan. Check it out on Disney Plus.
So, one of the things I was getting ready to post before Sark got on, they gave us a little bit of a private session. Okay,
I love that.
Actually, and I asked. I'll be honest with you. I only had the opportunity to ask Sark 2 questions. And the question I asked Sark was this. I said, hey, Sark, I know you're known as an offensive guy, but your defense has been really solid. It was really solid last year. Got a lot of good guys coming back this year. Just tell me about your expectations. Wait till you see the answer, Catch. It was like 2.5 minutes later. I believe
it, man. Like, he was gushing.
And he's like, and he said, everybody thinks of me as an offensive guy, but you know what? I've been on these teams and, the good ones, they win championships. So it was when he did it again today, I'm like, the one thing we know that he loves is his defense. Like, beyond a shadow of a doubt, he loves this defense. He loves what it's about. He loves what he thinks it can do. Yes, he likes some of the other guys, and he feels pretty good about the offense, but it looks like this thing is going to be won on defense. And all Arch really has to do is just be good. And I feel like they will be okay because of how talented his defense is, all the talent that they've stacked. And what they're, and the depth that they have there, he loves this group of guys. Absolutely loves them.
I mean, he gushed. This is year 5 of Sark, so it's not like we don't have a big enough library of. Look, I'll tell you the other thing that stood out to me today, Anwar. The first, I don't know, like 7 years that you were here, I would beg you. And the last year Tom Herman was the coach, he came on, did a live show with you during the pandemic. You asked him my question for me, and he answered it. The whole, what is the bar? What is the expectation? Like, let me know. What's a disappointing season? One of Sark's first things out of his mouth, and he said it specific several times. We have a championship roster.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you ain't got to ask that question. He did. He answered it. I don't have to ask it. You don't have to ask it. What are the expectations for this program? I don't know, but we have a championship roster. Oh, okay then. That's the bar. That is, when this season is over with, did they win a championship of any kind? Because the coach is telling us the roster they have should.
Yeah. I mean, yes. And look, Catch, they feel like they added in. I mean, he mentioned Emmett Mosley, right? I mean, they feel like they've added in the key ingredients that it takes to win a championship. Like, they feel like they have it. I mean, he said he said it almost 2 times, and I wasn't quite sure what he was referring to, but because I think there was the word that was missing. But he mentioned Trey Wisner being the SEC's leading rusher. I think he must have meant like SEC's returning rusher, because I was like, wait, he wasn't the leading rusher, but he mentioned that like twice. He's like, some of you guys don't even know who he is, and I'm like, all right, but he feels confident, like there is no shot. Yes, you're right, Tom Herman. When you would ask about the expectations for the upcoming season, he was like, "Ooh, hey, we ain't gonna talk about that, like expectations, because if I say my expectations are, if I don't meet it, you guys are going to hold me to that."
Well, and he'd be like, we could go 8-4, and there's one way 8-4 would be a disappointment. But like, what if everybody lost their legs and we were out here playing on stubs and we went 8-4 with no legs? Would that be like, he would get into that kind of like, whataboutism. And it was like, dude, are you the University of Texas or not?
Yeah.
And Sark really does not run. He talks about the expectations of like what the goals are every year, as if that actually has been the bar every year. And he's been real good over the years to not talk crap about Herman or Charlie Strong.
Yeah.
He's never, and look, a lot of those guys that Herman left have been really good. I did, though, think the single biggest piece of shade he's ever thrown at Tom Herman, and he didn't say his name out loud. But he basically said, when we got here, this team was fucking dumb and lazy, and they didn't care, and they didn't go to class, and they had a 2.2 GPA. And I turned around and was like, I know this school is hard, but that's really low, right? And then he was like, and then in like 5 minutes, we got that thing up to a 2.7. And then we started to grow it. Then he said the academic guy's name out loud. And I was like, whoa. You just gave somebody like full fan.
That's Mark Henry, right? Come here, Mark. Say hello. Say Mark.
Look at Mark Henry.
This guy.
This Anwar is my biggest fan. How you doing, kid?
Mark.
You're the best.
All right.
I'll sign that autograph for you later.
Hey,
all right, Mark. Try safely, Mark.
Anwar, on the day that Mark Henry signed with the WWF at the time, not the WWE, he did a live show on our 5 o'clock news at KI42. He came in the studio.
Yeah.
I was just a lowly intern. They needed somebody to be a prop.
Oh, God.
That man picked my big ass up on live TV and spun me around over his head. It was the most helpless feeling. Like, just imagine how let's think about it. You're a tall, big man.
Yeah.
Imagine somebody just putting you over their head and spinning you around like you're a top.
It would not feel good.
On TV.
Yeah, that wouldn't feel good.
That was my first live TV appearance. And I'm not even going to ask Mark Henry if he remembers that, because that dude picked up like 5,000 people on live TV.
I mean, the guy did pick up a damn car. So, I mean, like, you're okay, right? Yeah. So, Catch, it's funny you said what you said, right? There's 2 things. Sark said something interesting in the private session that correlates to what you're saying. He said there's two things that came out of it. Remind me, Sark, and then if I forget, remind me Michael Taft. Okay, two things, just in case I start talking about Sark and I'm like, what was my second point? Sark said there are guys, he said, he was talking about the evolution, right? He said there are guys who are on this team, Catch, who are going into year 3, who all they know is we went to the semifinals one year, we went to the semifinals the next year, and here we are this year.
That was a great point.
He's
The
like,
Anthony Hill, Arch Manning, all they know
is wins.
Yes. Is playing in a conference championship game.
Correct. Conference championship in the semifinals.
Yep. Yes.
They don't know anything other than that. And so when you start talking about the difference in the past, you've got guys now going into year 3, Catch. All they know is that Texas is a semifinal kind of team, like a playoff team every single year. So the memories that we have of 6 and 7 and 5 and 7, and even the memories that Michael Taft has, these young groups who are excellent players, they don't know what the hell you're talking about. They're like, shit, all we do is win around here, brother. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, so the mentality
he's telling that story, but he's also kind of saying that ain't got nothing to do with us anymore.
No, that's in the past. And the thing is, Taft was talking about something that was interesting. And he said, this is really good too. He said that in years past, what they would do, especially from a defensive perspective, is look at the stats in the offseason, and they would say to themselves, all right, well, let's see if we can have better stats this year than last year, because they didn't really have any success. He said this is the first offseason, Catch, that nobody's talked about stats. Nobody's looking at what they did in the previous years, because all their mentality is winning a national championship. It is not something meaningless as yards given up, yards per play. All they're thinking about is grinding towards the big picture. So it is interesting from a mentality standpoint, Catch, how things have changed, where now you've got a group of guys who all they know, Catch, we just win at Texas, man. That's I don't know about this Tom Herman thing that you're talking about. Like I saw that, but Sark and us, man, shit, we go into semifinals every year. What are you talking about?
So let me give you the math on that. This is crazy. I have not really thought about it until Sark pointed it out, and then you just did as well. And I kind of like, oh yeah, he did say that. 85 guys on a roster, right? Then Texas is at the full 85-man scholarship limit. Let me ask you, I'm just curious what you think the answer will be.
Okay.
Out of the 85 guys on scholarship, and then look, keep in mind, a bunch of these dudes are true freshmen, so the number's really like 60. How many of the guys on the team have played for Texas and not played for just a conference title and a semifinal? So how many examples like Michael Taft are there of guys that have experienced a college football season at Texas and it not ended in a national semifinal?
Ooh, okay.
I've counted it up.
Okay, hold on. What it'll be none of the running backs. None of them count. None of the quarterbacks. Offensive line. No. Receivers, no. Defensive linemen. Shit, I'm running out of guys, Catch. Taft? Is Taft it? Is it just him?
There's 10 guys.
10? Okay.
But that includes transfers. Look, because everybody else is either a sophomore, redshirt freshman. They're either a true junior or they're a redshirt sophomore. You know what I mean? Like they're the only guys on the roster I'll just run through them. There are 16 that are seniors and juniors. Your senior class is Matthew Caldwell, but he didn't play. So DJ Campbell, Cole Hudson, Ethan Burke, Jalen Gilbo, Michael Taft, Lance St. Louis, Will Stone, Neto Yamuzalo, Connor Robertson. There's 9
of the guys that they've recruited out of high school.
Yes, that are on the roster that have played at Texas, that while they've played at Texas have experienced something other than that's less than 10% of the roster.
And of that, I mean, at least most of those guys experienced a winning season. Taft is the only guy that's ever experienced a losing season, if I'm correct, right? Because he was there for year 1.
Yep.
Right? He's the only guy that experienced losing. So all of them have never experienced a losing season, and 9 of them have experienced just going to a bowl game. And everybody else, all they know is semifinals.
Well, and the only other guys would be a guy like Lavon Johnson or somebody who transfers in.
Yeah.
The thing that Sarkisian used to worry about was that these transfers were, well, he used to worry that he didn't have a culture. So part of the reason why he took some less than impactful guys from the likes of Alabama, LSU, Notre Dame, he took those big programs, guys that they knew. He was like, these dudes aren't going to come in. These guys are going to come in and they will only know success. So they know like they'll bring some of that Alabama culture over.
Yeah.
Then there was a little bit of like, we don't want to bring too many transfers in because we're starting to get the culture where we want it. And we don't want dudes coming in and completely messing it up.
Yeah.
Now, any guy they bring in, recruiting and or the portal, this is the culture. This is the way. These guys now only know national semifinals, and this is how they got there. There's no bad muscle memory for like, well, back in 2001, we were on a bus and somebody like, had their cell phone out. Like, we're done with only Mookie Taft knows about Busgate. Really?
That's so true. Yes. Yeah. And you're right. And you're right, Catch, because those guys they used to bring in, they were bringing it in to change the culture.
Yes.
Now all the guys that they bring in are adhere to the culture. Like they don't, the whole like we need to bring in some guys from Alabama because they had a winning culture, and they realized those guys weren't really winners where they were at. Yeah. So, they actually didn't change the culture. We actually had to, deal with the Ajay Hall and realize, okay, he would play for the winning culture, but he wasn't a part of their culture. There was the other guy who was the tight end that didn't last a whole year.
Jaleel Billingsley.
And they were like, he was supposed to be a guy, and it's like, yeah. And
by the way, that name's only going to be in my head for about 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to forget that Jaleel Billingsley. At some point, I will forget. I'm going to get to an age. You're going to ask me that question, and I'm going to be like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, Chris Bennett will always know.
I keep calling Felix Ojo Felix Jones, so I just feel like my days are numbered.
I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So
onward, there's 25 upperclassmen on this roster. And I used to think for part of this offseason, it's a really young team. They're not very experienced. Now today, I'm like, well, one of the reasons why they're so damn young is Sark got rid of all of the losers.
Yeah.
He either got rid of them or there's a few left or they're in the NFL. Like that is the 3 options.
Well, he transitioned a lot of those guys who were losers into winners.
I mean, he transitioned some of those guys for sure. He transitioned their ass right into the portal.
Well,
yes, a lot of winners too. But there's even a year ago, we could look at the roster and go, hey, pick 5 guys that you're cool with them losing. And you go, oh, let me take this guy off the list and this guy. We're at a point now in the roster where it's like, hey, they got to make room for 5 guys, cut some names.
Yeah.
And you're like, Man, I don't know if I want to cut that guy. I don't know if we're at that point. Next year, they're going to lose guys in the portal. And I think it'll be the first time where I think Sarkisian will feel like we would have liked to have kept that guy.
But the thing is, they are trying to be strategic with their NIL stuff, where when those guys who are young and it goes into next year, one of the reasons they're not overspending on these high school kids now is like because they're saying we're looking at 2026 when the season's over, and we need money for those guys. Yeah. And so all you unproven high school kids who think you're going to get paid more than my proven guys, it's not going to happen. It goes back to, remember the NFL, and you remember Sam Bradford. And that was like one of the first like kicking the nuts for a lot of NFL guys. Like, wait a second. This guy came out of college and earning how much?
Yeah.
Unproven. And that was almost kick-started the whole we need a salary cap thing, because this is BS. And it's almost like we're seeing this old school thing with Texas, which is, look, man, your ass is unproven in high school. You've never proven it in the college level. We'll be damned if you're going to come in next year and make more money than Ryan Wingo or Arch Manning, or you go down the list of our running backs who are going to want to get paid, or, you know, offensive Trevor Gooseby if he needs to come back. Like, we're going to invest in next year. So we're going to get we're going to get a couple of high school kids. We'll be cool with that. And everything else is going to be about keeping 2026 together so we can keep this thing going.
He was like, hey, we're going to go big game hunting and recruiting. Who can play first right away?
Yeah.
And then it was like, and then we got retention.
Yes.
And we're going to go into the portal. Like, he was, again, I'm telling people that I think after that Derek Cooper announcement on the 20th, we're just going to get to a point where Sarkisian's I don't think they're going to add volume the rest of the way. And it's one of the reasons I'm really curious about how they plan to get to 105, because they're not going to do it taking a bunch of rivals 250 guys that cost $300,000 a year and are going to eat up space for money that can otherwise be dedicated to 2026 in the here and the now. He's very honest about, hey, we're living in the moment. I have a championship roster. We have to keep it championship roster. That's our goal. But he really is year by year. How are we going to maximize the fact that we can go for it now? And he called last year a championship roster.
I mean,
it was. I'm just
you could technically have a championship roster, and maybe you didn't still win a championship because you got that far. You know, he mentioned something about being. By the way, just real quick sidebar, because he mentioned something about being real close, you know, in the red zone for, you know, a couple of, you know, key games. You and I said on yesterday that Sark could be real cool when he wants to, but ask him something about like the red zone, and then Sark ain't really gonna appreciate that question.
Well, that guy who was, I think, a Longhorn fan, right? He works for a Longhorn-oriented YouTube channel. I'm not going to put him on blast. And I honestly didn't hear his name. I didn't recognize the name. He did. I don't know if that guy meant to. And Sarkisian was like, you snuck in some jabs. He did. He was like, you know, you had some red zone issues last year that really kind of hurt in big games. Like, might have cost you guys like big games. It was like,
and he was like, I am telling you, if it had been a smaller setting, without all the cameras and ESPN and the SEC network to protect this guy,
it was the first question.
It was the first question, though. And here's the thing: it's the luck of a draw. It's literally the guy on stage, whoever he sees, and he's just like, I guess that guy will go. He knows some of the people, and so he's certain people he's going to make sure he takes care of.
I did not know that guy's name when he said it.
I didn't know. The guy, the moderator, doesn't know his name. He just said, all right, that's the first guy who went. And then Sark was like, First question, huh? Okay.
Because I gotta be honest, I was like, nice job, Texas Sports Network. You got like the first question in. Like I was thinking in my head, nice job.
Hey, by the way, I felt good. In one of my columns on Sunday, I wrote that's going to be one of the questions that's asked, right? And so that ended up being something that was asked as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, again, it was funny though, because like in my head, I was like, I was actually using the word jab on Mar, and then he goes,
really?
Snuck a few little jabs in there. And I was like, that's exactly right, Sark. Sark was good natured about it, but he was not gonna let that go. Like you didn't just add a little extra knife dig in there.
Yeah. Hey, Alex and Cody just walked up. You want to ask them anything?
Who?
Alex and Cody.
No, man, I want to get out. I'm ready.
He's like, the hell with that.
I'm going to go read about it on Orange Bloods.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he did his instant reaction.
Oh, did he?
I'm sure. Yeah, of course.
We've been doing this.
Yeah, no, he turns that thing around fast.
I know, but I haven't.
Alex, did you post your instant reaction yet?
Yes, he did. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, Alex posts those things fast, man. He gets those things.
I'm going to go read that right now. Look, we've got great sponsors. Let's just throw them out there. Taste on Main, Hayes City Store, Texas Card House, Hijack Poker. You guys are instrumental. By the way, Chad put this picture of these onion. I don't even like onion rings. I was just thinking about them making me hungry because they look so good. Support our sponsors. They're great people. They're one of the reasons why we're there in Atlanta right now. Like the video. Check out our other videos. We did a Tyler Atkinson reaction video show today that it was good. I think you guys will like it with me and Chad. And like, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Go check it out. For Onwar, Richard, and myself, Alex, Cody, they got more stuff coming. Thanks for hanging out, watching a little bit, but we're gonna go like